This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Tax relief on fuel products. Government service delivery vital for the country. And 13 NGOs receive government grants to address gender-based violence. Good evening, you're watching National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission, in a press release, provided an update on the implementation of the government's tax exemption on the refined petroleum products that are sold at the retail service stations throughout PNG. Under the ICCC's regulatory oversight, they also acknowledge the current government support to ease the burden on fuel customers.
On the 3rd of May 2022, the Piracy government announced a relief package of 611 million kina to ease the inflationary pressure currently faced by the people throughout the country. From the total relief package, the government committed 220 million kina in subsidies on refined petroleum products in the form of foregone tax revenues. Based on the volume of fuel sold at all fuel retail service stations as at 31st of December 2022, the ICCC estimates that the government would have passed on about 176 million kina worth of tax relief on fuel to consumers throughout the country. These estimates are based on the tax exemptions and the volume of fuel sold at all retail service stations, which are subject to regulatory oversight by the ICCC. The ICCC also pointed out that the consumers may have thought that these cost savings were not realized given the current prevailing fuel prices. However, without the tax exemptions, consumers would have been paying more for fuel. For instance, in December 2022, consumers in Port Moresby would have been paying per litre 4 kina 37 toya for petrol instead of the current retail price of 3 kina 81 toya, and for diesel 4 kina 78 toya instead of 4 kina 56 toya, and for kerosene 4 kina 36 toya instead of 4 kina 3 toya. Despite the current inflationary pressure faced in the country, the ICCC is appealing to businesses, especially those that are benefiting from the government's tax relief, to at least pass on some of the cost savings to consumers. Whilst the current tax relief measures will expire on the 31st of December, the ICCC also commended the Piracy government for extending the tax relief on the fuel products to 30th of June 2023, consistent with the national budget. The government's decision to extend the tax relief to June next year is necessary to ease the cost burden on consumers in the country, given the current prevailing fuel prices globally. The current fuel prices are mostly driven by the global factors such as the surge in demand for fuel following the reopening of economies at the end of 2021 after the prolonged COVID-19 lockdowns and the supply disruption due to the current conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
The Executive Director for the Institute of National Affairs, Paul Baker, emphasized on the government service delivery, which is a key priority area in the country. He made this statement yesterday at the Institute of National Affairs office in Port Moresby. Government service delivery is the need for the people of the country. With the recent rollout of the 2023 national budget, the government has shown what is believed to be promising signs for the country. Further discussions on paramount service delivery have been raised by the Director, Baker, one of which is employment opportunities.
The government has to perform its functions of delivering basic infrastructure, basic public goods and services, health, education, try and create conditions for families to have opportunities for jobs. That particularly requires creating good conditions for the private sector to feel inclined to invest.
Baka said in order for a sustainable economic growth, there has to be employment growth.
Really try and work on getting the production costs down, getting the costs of doing business down, trying to provide consistent investment conditions to attract businesses. And this isn't just the big LNG and the big mining companies, but all the medium and larger but not big, the medium scale investors who are both foreign investors and domestic investors to generate that more consistent economic growth, because our growth has been weak and we don't have employment growth.
As the 20 Days of Human Rights Activism campaign comes to its conclusion today with the commemoration of the Human Rights Day, the members of the new Parliamentary Committee on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment commended the government for awarding 13 NGOs financial grants that will enable them to do more work to address gender-based violence across the country.
Governor Pakop, chair of the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Committee, stated that he is very pleased to see the government making good progress on its promises to take more action to address GBV and sorcery accusation-related violence as an immediate priority. He said he wants the Department for Community Development and Religion to immediately progress the establishment of the National GBV Secretariat, something which is more than 5 years overdue. Governor Pakop said they need to recruit highly qualified GBV experts into the Secretariat who will be able to effectively drive efforts across the country to work with provincial governments and NGOs to tackle the scourge of violence that is damaging our country and our people. The Department for Community Development and Religion, with support from the United Nations Development Programme, held a ceremony with the 13 NGO grantees yesterday to officially award them their funding. Department for Community Development and Religion and UNDP are jointly funding the grants, with the Department for Community Development and Religion drawing on a portion of the 7.93 million kina allocated by the government to address GBV in 2022. The NGOs were selected for grants following an open call for expression of interest, which sought NGO proposals related to prevention of GBV and SARV and the provision of crisis response and recovery services to GBV and SARV survivors. It is anticipated that another round of grants will be made in 2023, subject to funding being released by Treasury. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Morobe Acting Police Commander Senior Inspector John Daviaga has cautioned villagers along the coast to take extra precaution when traveling home or into the provincial capital, Lae. Based on previous experiences over the years, especially during the festive season, where law and order issues arise, Senior Inspector Daviaga explained that even though Morobe's water police is out monitoring boats and public traveling daily, precaution must be taken at all times.
Senior Inspector John Daviaga has appealed to skippers, boat crews and passengers alike to be on the alert when traveling and to be aware of sea piracy. He encouraged keepers of dinghies that ferry passengers to and fro to travel in convoys or groups and not to travel alone, especially in late afternoons and early hours of the morning. He clarified that these are times when criminals engaged in sea piracy can easily hijack boats, passengers and cargoes. Meanwhile, Deputy Commissioner Special Operations Donald Yamasombi said water police are ready and will assist maritime provinces moving into the festive season.
Yes, what we are doing now, like the water police here, what they're doing, will roll over into the Christmas New Year operations. They will also be on standby if there are other provinces, maritime provinces especially, if they do need assistance in terms of water mobility and attending to issues out in the outer islands. Men will be on standby to assist.
Furthermore, Morobe Acting Police Commander, Senior Inspector John Daviaga, has advised skippers and their crew to check with authorities and know the weather forecast for the day before traveling out. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National MTV News. Enga Interdenominational Global Mission, or EIGM, ended their 3 days repentance, prayer and soul rescuing crusade yesterday by burning 18 guns collected from Nete-Layam region at the border of Sepik and Enga provinces, and all the weapons collected from other peace building ceremonies conducted in the province for the past years. Enga Interdenominational Global Mission hosted this history gathering at Sari CRC Church involving all pioneers, senior pastors, junior pastors, prayer warriors, TSCF, and ministers fraternal in Enga province.
EIGM Public Relations and Research Coordinator Miok Michael said EIGM stands strongly to fight against lawlessness and soul winning through the power of God. EIGM is a parachurch organization made up of like-minded pastors from different denominations that are united to fight against evil in Enga province. The organization focuses and targets on 4 main areas in carrying out its mission: conflict resolution and peace building, research and social mapping, advocacy and awareness, and tangible programs. The above focus areas are coordinated by different team leaders and works together for a success of the operation in fighting against the evil. However, for the last couple of years, EIGM has been focusing on conflict resolution and peace building in Enga province, but the process also allowed other 3 mission fields in the operation. The organization has solved much hazardous tribal welfare in Enga through the power of God. They have worked hand in hand with the churches, the Office of Enga Provincial Law and Order, and the PPC. EIGM calls for all church denominations to unite and stand together in prayer. All churches were encouraged to work closely with law enforcing agencies on the ground and provincial governments to bring peace and harmony back in the provinces and PNG. Esther Gane, National MTV News.
It was a proud moment when 66 students graduated from the Flexible Open Distance Education Bougainville campus. The graduation was held at the Ford Center in Kubu last Friday. This was the very first graduation to take place at the Kubu Center since the Ford Center and its programs were introduced in Buka.
Out of the 66, 37 students graduated with grade 10 certificates, while 29 graduated with grade 12 certificates. A delighted Mr. Joseph Kuimo, who is the provincial Ford coordinator, announced that almost all of these graduating students were selected to further their studies in conventional high schools and accepted into colleges throughout PNG. Mr. Kuimo told the graduating students and those that gathered there that many successful people went through Ford to further their education. Hence, this is a pathway to further education. The graduation was attended by representatives from the Education Office in Buka and from the UPNG Open Campus, together with proud parents. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
North Goroka Demonstration Primary School in the Eastern Islands Province will be converted into a high school come 2023. This was announced by the Provincial Education Advisor, Albert Wesley, at the school's 22nd Grade 8 graduation recently.
Provincial Education Advisor for Eastern Islands, Albert Wesley, opened the new double classroom building, a project funded by the Eastern Islands Provincial Government through its PSIP funding at the cost of 1.3 million kina. The opening coincided with the school's 22nd graduation, at which Mr. Wesley made the announcement that the North Goroka Demonstration Primary School will be elevated and converted to a junior high school starting next year. The announcement was described by many at the ceremony as a Christmas gift and welcomed the news for the community of North Goroka and the University of Goroka. Board Chairman Willie Yomba thanked his board and management and the teachers in ensuring school operations run smoothly throughout the academic year and ended on a high note. He said despite numerous circumstances, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic and election, minor setbacks were encountered but were managed with positive outcomes. The North Goroka Demonstration Primary School has over 1,000 students with 39 teachers and 19 support staff. Sharon Ingnui, National EMTV News.
Ahead of hosting the biggest event of the year, Carols by the Sea, NCDC and Amazing Port Moresby welcome mobile carols, Christmas choir by 5 choir groups at 21 locations starting today, 10th December to the 16th December 2022 for 7 consecutive days.
The first performance today was held at Gordon's Market with Diari Bloods and the Pore Porena Choir Group. This will be followed by the closing event of the year, Carols by the Sea on 18th December 2022 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. Gates will be open from 4 p.m. Star performance by Justin Wellington, Papua New Guinean singer presenting a blend of pop, reggae, dance hall and island music. NCD Governor Powers Parkop said in an ode to the beauty of the amazing Port Moresby landscape is adorned in Christmas decorations, twinkling Christmas lights, Christmas wishes by commission, government and business houses and Christmas jingle head. Over the radio channels, Christmas is officially here. He said NCDC, together with Amazing Port Moresby, is delighted to unveil its Christmas offerings for the year 2022. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Christmas has come early for the Cheshire Disability Services PNG through Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners in Port Moresby recently. Coca-Cola has celebrated with the organization through a display of a Christmas truck and Santa Claus with gifts for the people. This was an initiative by the Colony Group. Festive season by Coca-Cola is one that excites everyone. Lucky for Cheshire homes, they have received early Christmas delight by the Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners. With Coca-Cola's campaign slogan, Christmas finds its way, they saw a lunch get-together and a Santa Claus in disguise giving out gifts to the children. Chairman for the Cheshire Disability Services PNG, Benson Hahambu, acknowledged the company for presenting them this special event.
Thank you very much for acknowledging the fact that the staff members here are doing something beyond boundaries by looking after those with disabilities, that their time and effort, maybe because of the heart that they've got, they decided to go an extra mile in coming together and caring for someone with disability. Thank you very much for acknowledging that.
Upon this, Hahambu highlighted the plans for the organization for next year.
We will come back in 2023 to look at how best we can reach out to all other clients with disabilities around NCDC as well as Central Province. And we have the strategic plan going towards 2025 in which we will all work as a team to see how best, with our support from the board and all the business houses, see how best we can expand to at least 1 or 2 provinces.
With his closing remarks, a certificate of appreciation was given to the Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners. Moving overseas news now, the Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles has sent a clear signal that Australia would like Japan to be one day included in the AUKUS pact with the United States and the United Kingdom.
The 2+2 meeting comes off the back of two landmark agreements that was struck between Australia and Japan this year. The first is the reciprocal access agreement, and that'll allow Japanese troops to be stationed in Australia and Australian troops to be stationed in Japan for anything from defence exercises to military missions. And Australia is the first country to strike such a deal with Japan outside the United States. The other was a joint declaration signed between Prime Ministers Anthony Albanese and Fumio Kishida to deepen defence cooperation and to deter aggression. Now the challenge is to ensure there's actual traction on these agreements. The long-term aim is to have seamless and organic defence cooperation between the two countries at a time when China is becoming increasingly powerful and assertive.
There are many challenges in the region in which we live. They are conversations which proceed on the basis that we collectively understand that if we wish to have peace and stability in this region at this time, that our two countries must continue to do together.
National MTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sport. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Sports for Development program under the PNG National Rugby League has organized a Voice Against Violence drills to commemorate the International Human Rights Day, which is part of the 20 Days Human Rights Activism campaign in PNG. The program aims to educate the girls on the basic rugby league communication drills on how they can contribute towards decreasing gender-based violence by addressing the issues and speaking up on their rights as women, and most importantly, communicating the issue.
Sports for Development program uses sports to achieve crucial outcomes for children and youth, such as learning, health, empowerment, and protection. The country manager for Sports for Development program under NRL PNG, Kathy Neeb, said girls and women are not treated equally, especially in sports. She said their aim was to educate the young girls on their rights as a sports person and sports team.
You know, young girls growing up, they will certainly represent their country one day. So we believe that educating them at an early age, telling them their rights, as a human being, so to fight for what they deserve, it's really important, so that, you know, we can do away with these gender norm types of thinking, because these things adds up to gender-based violence. So one in all, it's all about fighting a good cause and decreasing gender-based violence in our country.
From her experience as a rugby player, she said out in the field, girls and women are not given enough playing time, with no professional officials to officiate the game. She encouraged the young girls in the country who are interested in sports to know their rights and communicate immediately if they are not treated equally.
I played rugby league both and rugby union. Through my experience of playing in the field, a lot of times I experienced not enough playing time given to us as girls, and also a lot of times we are given referees that are not, that are still learning, and then like the administrators of the game, they think that women's game is a game where, you know, referees can go and learn how to be good referees. Well, you know, we deserve a good referee, because a good official, you know, makes the game stand out.
One of the players from PNC Orchids also shared a view about the Human Rights Day.
Yeah, it is our right to get the right treatment from everyone who's a woman. It is our right to play the right timing and get the right decisions in the field as a woman playing against each other with the male referee. and it is our right to get the right game times at the right time, and it is our right to play at the highest level in the competition too, same as the men are playing right now.
Estagane, Trukai Sports.
A check presentation of 22,000 kina to the Port Moresby Records Club Squash Juniors to support them as they prepare for the upcoming Oceania Juniors Championships. The presentation was done today at the Port Moresby Records Club.
After a successful completion of the Scale Rise Squash Camp held during the last school term break, the juniors have been in weekly sessions to train ahead of their Oceania Juniors Championships. In showing support to the preparations, Scale Rise presented a favorable amount of 22,000 kina to the POM Records Club Squash Juniors today. Records Club President Tim Kribish wished the juniors all the best as they prepare for the Oceania Juniors Championships. The championships will be contested amongst 150 juniors across the Oceania region in Thornlie, Sydney from the 17th to the 19th of December 2022. PNG will be sending 5 juniors for the Under-11 event, 1 junior in the Under-15 event, and 3 juniors in the Under-19 event. For the first time, PNG will have a good representation of 9 juniors at the Oceania Juniors Championships. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The NCD Soccer Association hosted its Grand Finals playoff today at the PNG Football Stadium. The games witnessed 14 Grand Finalists battle it off to claim the 2022 title under 7 divisions. This was witnessed by the NCD Soccer Association President, Voni Nato, along with the executives and the well-spirited supporters.
In commencing the finals playoff for the Under-15 Girls Division, the New Look Baos FC battled it out with the Hackery Academy FC, to which New Look Baos FC claimed the victory with 1-0 points at the final siren. While in the Under-15 Boys Division, Southside FC won by 1 point difference against opponents Hackery Academy FC. For the Under-17, the New Look Baos FC and the POM Souths FC took to the field a tight clash where in the first half both sides were scoreless. But great push and defenses on the New Look side in the second half saw them claiming the title with 1 goal as their opponents remained scoreless right through to the final huta. Tournament President Voni Nato gave a highlight of the finals competed today.
This morning we have 7 grand finals. Our under-15 girls, they have played amazing talent there. Our under-15 boys and our under-17 girls have done. This is our under-17 boys.
After the completion of all 7 finals games today, the presentation took place this afternoon. Mrs. Nato went on to thanking her family for their continued support towards football in the country and also extended a word of thanks to the parents of the children in the under-15 and the under-17 divisions.
Thank you. Firstly, I want to say thank you to my family and for being always a support to football in the country. My husband John and to my children, Faith, Hazel and Henry, because partly they helped me out to make sure that our competition this season, all the parents that allow their younger kids coming to be in our competition, our under 15, 17, both girls and boys, under 19.
With the finals being played today, next season the association will look into including youth competition. This is the pathway for under 12, under 10, under 8 and under 6 footballers to showcase their passion and talents after the end of the main tournament today. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report for the next 24 hours is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
Now we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City, mostly cloudy with few afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Daru, mostly cloudy with few showers. Kerema, mostly cloudy with few afternoon showers and inland thunderstorms. Alotau, mostly cloudy with some showers. Popondetta, cloudy with some showers, rain and thunderstorms. In the Momase region, Lay City, cloudy periods with some rain showers and thunderstorm. Medang, cloudy periods with some showers. Wewak, partly cloudy with brief showers, becoming fine evening. Vanimo, partly cloudy with brief showers, becoming fine. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, mostly fine. Kaveng, mostly fine. Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly cloudy with some showers. Kimbe, mostly cloudy with some showers. Buka, cloudy periods with some showers. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, cloudy with some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Goroka and Kundiawa, cloudy with some afternoon and evening showers and possible thunderstorms. Mendi and Wabeg, cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru to Kerema to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samarai Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, seas 0.3 to 1.3 meters. Waters of North Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Finchofan, seas 0.3 to 1 meters. Waters of Finchofan through VTS Strait to CSC and Long Islands, seas 0.3 to 1.3 meters. Waters north of Long Island to Medang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.3 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.3 to 1.3 meters. Waters of New Island to New Britain Island and Bougainville, seas 0.3 to 1.3 meters. Coral Sea sees moderate southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea sees smooth to slight northeast to easterly winds of 5 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea sees smooth to slight northwest to easterly winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean sees slight to moderate southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Saturday, the 10th of December 2022. Before we go, right after the news, tonight at 7 p.m., the Miss Pacific Islands pageant final crowning ceremony is underway at the APEC House in Port Moresby. It will be live and exclusive on your number one to watch, EMTV, also live streaming on our website and Facebook page. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Gold Nuggets.